hear me.
I don't think she did.
All right, it is 7 PM on January 14th, 2020. We're gonna open the regular board meeting. You do roll call, please.
Yep. Trustees Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot, William Luxinger,
Here.
Dina Simpson. Here. Jen Christensen.
Here.
Jared Doan.
Here.
President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavani.
Here.
I, Clerk Sandy Monsum here. Attorney David Silverman.
Here.
And we also have Attorney Mark Heinley here. We do not have an engineer. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
And Park Supervisor Nathan Hill.
Here.
So this is Nathan's first meeting too, so, oh, well,
No.
in a while, but
Second, yeah.
at least, he gets to be entertained.
Fine, the first one this year.
Yeah.
First one this year.
Oh, there you go.
Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you want to go ahead and introduce him.
Oh, I can do that now. Yeah, so you've already all met Mark, but I did want him to come out to tonight's meeting, because I know some of you are wondering, you're only paying for Mark's time tonight, so there you go. Mark has been with Ansel Gling for several years. He's been primary attorney on two of our clients, the Village of Coal City and the Village of Harwood Heights. And Mark is gonna get more involved. Dan and I, because Dan became a partner, we did think it would be good to bring in a non-partner to help the village with its work. And Mark brings several years of experience. He's a very smart attorney. I think you'll enjoy working with him. Mark, I don't know if you wanna add anything to, you've already had quite, you've already had quite the introduction to the crew,
It's
so.
also not on because we're not.
Yeah, we're in rare
pushing it.
form
You gotta-
this evening.
You gotta turn it on first.
Find the button.
Right there.
Yeah, you can.
Thank you. Thanks for having me out tonight. I'm excited to work with you. I'm looking forward to it. I think, per David's comments, it sounds like I'm just unimportant enough to to serve you. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you'll feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions. And you know, as David said, I've worked with a number of communities, including some that are similarly sized, non-home rule communities that are similarly sized to you, but each community is different. So if I have a way of doing things, and I'm sure David will have me falling into line quickly, that is different than how you are accustomed to having them done, and doesn't, you know, let me know. I'm looking forward to tailoring my approach to something that works for you guys, and looking forward to getting to know you and working with you in the future.
And I do want to add one thing. So the other thing with, given Mark's level of experience and the fact that he is working with two of our other client communities, he knows the full range of local government law, so he'll be available to you for any matters that come up.
Welcome, Mark.
He can't leave on his own, right?
Thank you for tolerating us.
Welcome
in rare
aboard.
form, yeah. Yeah, welcome.
All right, we read the consent agenda items.
Yep, up for approval tonight on the consent agenda is number 1, December 10th, 2019 regular board minutes. Number 2 is the bills payable warrant list dated January 14th, 2020. And number 3 is ordinance number 20-01, an ordinance amending an ordinance regarding procedures for new and expanded pollution control facility site approval request, Village Code Chapter 16.
At this time, does any board member wish to pull an item from the consent agenda for further discussion? We'll entertain a motion.
William?
Hold on, everybody's looking.
Or Chris?
Everybody's looking.
No, I was actually-
All right,
and I was
Jen's
looking
got
at
it.
my-
Do you have your scripts ready?
Jen's got it.
I move to place agenda items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as the consent agenda.
Second.
William makes a motion to place items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively as a consent agenda. All right,
Yep.
Jen seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jen?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
William?
Yes. I move to adopt items
He is
one.
rusty.
He's tired.
To adopt items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively on the consent agenda in the single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
Louis makes a motion to adopt items 1, 2, and 3 inclusively on the consent agenda. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jared?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Motion passes 7:06. We do not need item C. There's nothing removed. We'll move on to the reports to the officers, and we will do our water bill. You get to do this, by the way, Mark. This is tough.
No, you're
You
gonna
you
do it?
can do it, you can do it today.
You pull,
Check mark,
the
pull a
person who's
card.
gonna receive
pull a
$25
card.
off their next water bill.
All right.
The other 623 won't like you,
You'll be angry, yes.
Yeah, and then you just give it to Rick and he'll read it.
if I can.
At least it's not one of you.
No.
They can't be us.
Except for me. And me.
Well, it's neither of you.
No.
It's 146 Harvest Glen.
Well, that's close. I mean,
You can go, you're welcome. Lawyer pulled you. I have nothing else tonight, so we'll move on to,
Yeah, there's a typo on there.
I see
Joe
that.
was here.
under the clerk.
Did you, I was gonna say, did you demote yourself?
Pretty much.
The only thing I have on there is after last week's discussion, closed session minute review will be done in closed session next week, so prepare for a slightly longer meeting because I could not get everybody to review in timely fashion. So, just be prepared for a longer closed session next week.
I think she's looking at me, but
I didn't look at anybody.
I haven't done it.
She
either.
scanned.
Pretty sure she made eye
The
contact
arena.
with me.
I didn't do it either.
It was not the left side, does that help you?
I couldn't. She was
Um,
going on my vacation.
I'm gonna backtrack. Do we need questions for the water bill?
If you guys do not provide any, then Jeff usually comes up with what's going on in the village, although, coming up is our event season, so it will dwindle down to the Easter egg hunt, movies in the park, fireworks, those types of things. But if people have things they'd like to ask, let us know.
So if anybody has anything they'd like to ask a question about, bring it. Parks, streets, you're more than welcome to as well. I mean, we'll go through it, approve it, and get it put on the bill. We can find out, at least get some feedback on items. All right, we'll move on to the treasurer.
In your packet is the treasurer's report for December of 2019. And then the other item is, the resolution to amend the personnel policy manual that we, discussed last week regarding the overtime. And I can't make a motion.
Does anybody have any questions on the treasurer's report before we move beyond that? Okay, then we'll go on to the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 20-01, a resolution amending the Village of Davis Junction Personnel Policy Manual, Section 13.02, overtime.
Second.
So Dina makes a motion to approve resolution number 20-01. Jared seconds. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to know, what's the rationale behind paying full-time employees double time to work on a Sunday?
That's their day of rest, is my understanding.
That's anytime you work overtime, you pay them time and a half.
My interpretation is it's only Sundays when it's snow plowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I
Not
don't really
Sundays.
get, what does that have to do with anything? What if you have to work on a Sunday otherwise?
They don't work Sundays otherwise unless it's an emergency basis.
Really, we have no events in the park on a Sunday that our
This
employee
is
has to
for
work?
Snow only.
This is
No, I got that, I just don't understand the difference.
Because a snow event normally is an emergency situation that requires
And our
an
employees
intervention
are
from
not
our
expected.
employees, and they've
shouldn't our-
already worked their 40-hour work
I
week.
get that, but if you work here and you come to work for the Public Works Department or streets or whatever you wanna call it, you should know that you're gonna have to plow, and plowing would include
So are you
Sunday.
saying that we should give everyone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off in anticipation of possibly plowing on
No,
Sundays?
not at all.
So how are you gonna pay them?
You pay them
Time
overtime.
and a half.
That's what most people get anywhere else.
And most places do pay double time on Sundays and holidays.
Even
What-
now where I work.
Show me a place.
Time and a half.
Prove that.
I can tell you that I get paid double time on every holiday.
Yeah, and I expect that, because you were gonna get paid for a holiday anytime, anyway, so if you have to work on a holiday, you get paid for the holiday. So I have no problem with a holiday for a full-time employee. What I do have a problem with is that a full-time employee who comes to work on Sunday, who should know they're expected to come to work on Sunday, if you work,
Wait a minute. If I'm a Monday through Friday employee, I have no expectation of coming to work on a Sunday, because that's my day off. That's my legal day of rest.
Really?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
That's nice.
If you're gonna tell me I have to be available to plow on a Sunday, are you gonna pay me?
Of course, time and a half.
No. You're telling me that I'm expected to plow on a Sunday. So
Yeah.
if I don't have to
Yeah.
plow, are you gonna pay me to be available?
Hold on. Do you work on Sundays?
Randomly?
Do you get paid time and a half?
No,
Because that's one of your work days.
because I get days off during the week.
No problem with giving a comp day on one day a week if you have to work on
Not
a
a comp
Sunday.
day.
Well, see, we run
It's the
into,
same
we run into the problem,
I work in a
problem with
different
comp days
industry.
is we're gonna run into the problem where we have snow events that run longer than what you're gonna have, that's gonna be able to give them a comp day on Monday, Tuesday,
Nope.
Wednesday off.
No
You-
place I've worked where they expect that you will come in, and that's part when you get hired.
But it's
It-
totally different work that we're asking them than normal.
Really? Aren't they the people who
Well,
plow
so
the
if we,
streets?
what we're talking about is like, if we get a snowstorm, they may be here 12 hours.
Why is it
Not
special
normal.
for Sunday? Why aren't we doing it on Saturday then? Never mind. Let's just take the vote.
They get time and a half after 40 hours, do they not?
Then that's what they should get on Sunday. I don't understand, I'm sorry. I don't understand why Sunday is any different than a Saturday. And I'm not sure why we're paying part-time people double time on a Sunday. So let's just take the vote and,
Well, didn't we talk about this before, Brett, that said that if you go and ask people, we want them to want to come in, and that's the reason why the double time was put in? Because they could say, no.
hell, let's pay them triple time.
Having bills is the reason to come in.
So if it's Sunday and it's holiday, we're gonna pay them triple time then?
No.
I'm just asking.
No, it's double time.
Then it would be then why
No.
are we paying them double time on Sunday then?
Send them to come in.
Well, holiday
Opposed to
should be
saying
triple
Because
no.
nobody has an obligation to come in.
It's as, I
Nobody
would
does.
look at it as an incentive to come in, because they
That's
could
not
say
true.
no.
This
I
is an
mean, I
at-will
work on
job, and if you don't
Sundays
come
and
in
I have
when you're
to be there.
required,
I
you can
mean-
get fired.
They're not
They're not
required to come in on
required.
Sunday.
No.
They're not
You
required.
can make them be
Yes.
required to come in.
Okay.
Well, we
never
had
mind.
talked about it was when it was put in, it was an incentive.
Are you aware of the state law that went into effect probably about 3 or 4 years ago that says if you require an employee to be on call, you then have to pay them to be on call, even if you don't call them in at all? So if we're gonna
I don't
put
know.
in,
Show
if
me
we're
the
gonna,
law.
I'd
let
have
me
to
talk,
see that,
let
'cause
me
I
talk.
don't believe that's true.
If-
I don't get paid
if
for
we're-
being on
let me
call.
talk.
Go ahead.
Question for Margaret.
If we're gonna put an employee on call for a Sunday for 8 hours and then we don't call them in, we
No,
have
I
to
think
compensate
we
them
get it, though.
to be on call. That's the new law that went into effect.
Show it to me.
My
Ask the legal
understanding
department.
is-
I don't need to show you. I know the law. David?
The only
Yeah, no,
understanding I have is
yes.
that's the pay,
Thank you.
you know, than my employer.
And do you have to pay them the full rate for being on call?
Yep.
That is a change in the past 3 or 4 years. I only know this because I'm involved in the labor organization where I work. So, nobody has an obligation to come in on a Sunday, or Saturday, or after their time of employment.
Because I believe that also included if you call them after their scheduled hours, you have to pay them as well.
I'm curious.
If you tell them that they have to answer their phone after work, you have to compensate them for that.
Absolutely.
You have to compensate them for answering their phone. That's the law in Illinois.
That's part of the reason I became a salaried employee was because of the fact that I was answering my phones on nights and weekends, and I was going to have to be required to be paid for that.
Now, I would be willing to ask Brett and maybe Brenda, how many times has a part-time employee plowed for us in the past year,
How
2
many
years,
has
or
been?
3 years?
Oh,
Probably
many,
during that one big event.
many.
Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a count off the top of my head, William, but,
I don't know.
oh, yes,
I
we
wanna see
rely
the
on
law.
them quite a bit.
I don't recall them plowing recently, but
I'd like to see it too.
I'm still, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, last year, I mean,
This year doesn't-
at one point in time, Larry Knott was the plow driver for the old side of town.
I mean, there is only so long you can run these guys before they become exhausted and they need to get rest. We gotta bring fresh people in, plain and simple.
But yes, it's been done quite a bit.
I'm in the wrong line of work.
It's not like we have an unlimited, labor pool. Okay, any further discussion on this topic? Roll call, please.
actually I do have.
Oh, go ahead.
Any idea what the highest paid part-time employee is?
10.50?
Yeah, 10.50.
You know
So
what
the double
the,
time would be $21 an hour.
you know what the highest paid part-time employee will be in 4 years?
that's something that can be subject to change,
All right,
just like every other.
but you know it's coming.
I don't know.
You're
I
gonna
don't
be
know
paying a
it's
part-time
coming.
employee $30 an hour.
I don't know that's coming.
And honestly, if we get to that point and we're paying a part-time person $30 an hour to clear the streets so our residents can get out every day, I've got no problem with that.
Well, you shouldn't have to. I mean, we should, I'm pretty sure, well, never mind. Let's just vote.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
John,
No.
Dina,
Yes.
That's fine.
Chris,
No.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jared,
No.
Rick,
Yes.
4-1.
Motion
Or
passes
43,
at 7:16.
Got a weird sense of counting there.
Nope, 4-3.
Okay, so now we can update the handbook.
That's
Yeah.
all it was to do, is to take a previous motion and turn it into a resolution and get it in the handbook.
Correct.
So can I ask a question then? If it would have failed, would it have changed anything? Since it was voted on 5 years ago?
I would have to have the discussion with David, but my brief non-legal understanding would be that I would need a motion to rescind the
time?
motion from 5 years ago. This was simply just a formality of putting it
Got
into
it.
paperwork. Correct?
Yep.
All right.
Anything further, Brenda?
Nope.
David?
No.
Or Mark?
Nope, not at this time.
All right, committees, community development and events.
I have nothing.
Finance?
Do we have any emergency expenditures?
We do not.
I have nothing.
Ordinance enforcement?
Nothing.
Parks?
Nathan, did you have anything this evening?
No, just, following up, I did follow up with, ComEd about the street light on, 10 Acre Park, and should be getting back soon. You had asked about that. And, I'm meeting with a, youth soccer, group this week to talk about, youth, soccer program and, status of that and those types of things. And I'm also working on, fee schedules and different things for the park, so nothing too important, just,
You get a hold of the firework guy?
oh. And I did get a hold of the firework guy too, so, and, he hasn't confirmed that the 3rd, was good, but he was excited to work with you guys again and seemed like, he didn't say it wasn't, he wasn't available, but he didn't get back to me yet.
He mentioned something about giving us a 30% discount.
Here we
Yeah, that's not accurate.
So, but yeah, I did reach out to him. He got back to me and said, the 3rd, same budget. I said, yep, let me know, give me the paperwork, and we'll get everything set up. So, yeah, we should be good.
I'll have Jeff check with the movie.
I have nothing else.
Yeah, she was going to. Perfect.
All right, streets?
No.
Utilities?
We don't have anything this evening.
Anybody have anything on economic development? Public?
I actually have a question. I know I sit up here, but I'm also a resident of this municipality. I'd like to ask John Talbot why he changed his vote from 5 years ago from yes to no for the employees,
Because other employers do not have to pay double time.
but you felt it was okay 5 years ago?
I was in a different, line of work at the time. And, the consensus with most employers now is, if you don't do what you're told, it's pretty much they navigate you to the door, so to speak. And with all the talk of having to save money on all these other little things, this is certainly, like Chris brings up, 5 years down the road, it's gonna cost us a lot more money. As far as a labor pool, there is a lot of people looking for work, and I'll leave it at that, so.
Okay.
Any further public?
Nope.
Anything further from any of the board members?
No, sir.
Make a motion and adjourn. Second.
Jared makes a motion to adjourn, John seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I want to read the state statute.
We're adjourned at 7:20.